Now let's get started setting up the Duct Blaster system for the test. The first thing we need to do is connect the Duct Blaster fan to the duct system. This is typically done at either a central return or the air handler cabinet using the blower compartment access panel. For this test, we're going to use the central return as the location to connect the Duct Blaster fan. Check the central return to see if there's a filter mounted on the filter grill on the back side, and if there is, remove it. In addition, if there are filters located at the air handler itself, these will also need to be removed before we can begin. To connect the flexible extension duct to the central return, first take the square transition piece from the end of the flex duct and carefully tape it onto the center of the central return. Once you've done this, tape off the remaining opening on the return grill. Now slide the open end of the flex duct fully over the round collar of the square transition piece and tightly secure the flex duct using the black Velcro strap attached to the end of the flex duct. We now need to prepare the duct system and the house for the test. First, adjust the HVAC system controls so that the air handler fan does not turn on. Go around and turn off any exhaust fans, vented dryers, ventilation system, and room air conditioners. You will also need to open a door or window between the house and outside to prevent changes in house pressure when the Duct Blaster fan is running. The next step is to seal off the remaining supply and return registers. This is typically done using masking tape and paper, or an adhesive-backed film called duct mask. A sample roll of duct mask is provided with each Duct Blaster system, and additional rolls can be purchased from the Energy Conservatory. If there are additional intentional openings into the duct system, such as combustion air inlets or ventilation air inlets, these will also need to be sealed before beginning the test. We now need to choose a location to measure pressure in the duct system. The most common location to measure duct pressure is a supply register near where the Duct Blaster fan has been installed. Other locations can include the supply plenum or a main trunk line in the supply duct system. For this test, we're going to use a supply register. First, insert the 6-inch straight stainless steel probe into one end of the green tubing provided with the Duct Blaster system. Now push the probe through the tape or duct mask that is sealing the register. Make sure that the end of the probe is not blocked off. It is a good idea to write down the location of the supply register used to measure duct pressure. If you choose to measure duct pressure at either the supply plenum or a supply trunk line, you will need to use the static pressure probe to measure duct pressure. Refer to your manual for more instructions on using the static pressure probe. Now we need to make the tubing connections to the DG700 gauge. First, take the open end of the green tubing that was inserted into the supply register and attach that to the Channel A input tap. Now take the 10-foot section of red tubing and attach one end to the Channel B input tap and the other end of the red tubing to the brass pressure tap located on the middle of the Duct Blaster fan housing. If you need additional lengths of tubing, a 30-foot section of clear tubing is also provided with the Duct Blaster system. Once we've made the tubing connections, it's time to connect the speed controller to the fan. First, line up the female connector from the controller with the 3 metal pins on the fan receptacle and push the connector completely onto the pins. Now secure the connector to the fan using the locking ring on the connector. The remaining power cord should be plugged into the power outlet. Make sure the controller is off before plugging in the power cord. The next step is to choose and install the flow ring which you think best matches the needed fan flow for your test. If you suspect you're testing an extremely leaky duct system, don't install a flow ring at all. Leave the fan in the open configuration. As the duct systems you test get tighter, you will need to install flow rings with a smaller and smaller opening. Flow ring number 3, with the smallest opening, is used on the tightest duct systems. When in doubt, start with flow ring 1 or flow ring 2. Don't worry if you make the wrong choice. You can change the flow ring during the middle of the test. To install any of the flow rings, place the ring against the inlet of the fan so that the outer edges of the ring roughly line up with the outer edge of the fan inlet flange. Be sure the nozzle located in the middle of the ring is pointing inward toward the fan motor. Secure the outer edge of the flow ring and the fan flange together by pushing the black connecting trim over both edges all the way around the fan flange. As an alternative, you can also attach the flow rings using the 4 2-inch long pieces of connecting trim found in the parts bag provided with the Duct Blaster system.